ran into some interesting scenarios. Normally, we include Minecraft a lot in what we have done. This camp's a little different, so we didn't even touch it until Thursday of last week. And then when we did touch it, we started doing some prototyping of some games in Minecraft. And then we touched it again when we came back on Tuesday. And once Minecraft comes out, you see a change in how the rest of the program works. So as you can probably expect, having seen Minecraft come into your homes, it becomes all-consuming. So we try to hold that off as deep into our program as possible and get the lessons going. So for the first week, we did a tremendous amount of lessons for the kids that are new, just coming into coding. We start them off the way we have with every student that we've ever worked with. And some of our new tools that we have, using Scratch, which was created by MIT as an introductory language, and getting them familiar with some of the computational thinking structures that we're going to introduce them to later in different languages. And then we introduce them to each one of the students here have their own websites, which we've given them their own hosting and domain names, so they're able to host their projects and start constructing their portfolios. And then we teach them Python, which is a language that when I've been out at Brookhaven National Lab, they told me we can't find enough Python programmers. We're always looking for more. Google, Facebook, it's a very popular language. It's a lot easier to get started with. So they see the change. And when we start working with Python, they get that immediate gratification of making projects that function and they can make progress. Then we go over to the Java room and it's pure torture. That's when tears start falling out of my eyes. And we start feeling guilty that we're torturing them. And it's kind of a process of just seeing who's got the patience to deal with Java is one of the first litmus tests that we get out here. So summer camp is a little different. We run full semester programs as well, in spring and the fall. Those are really intensely academic, and we focus very hard in a number of different areas. And I'll show you some of the things we have you can look at in your own time. But we covered, I think, 11 different languages in the spring semester, including we do maker engineering projects. So some of our mentors have graduated with engineering degrees, and they come in with the full arsenal of hardware, from Arduino circuit boards to 3D printers, and they are prototyping their own ideas, and we're working through all the challenges that come along the way on that side of things. Summer, you would think a full week would be a lot of time to get 40 hours with them, but it flies by very quickly. So one of the logistical things that we had this week was, unfortunately, all the rooms we had booked for summer camp got double booked. And so we're in this room because there was a final being held in the room we initially booked. And we were scrambling all morning trying to find something to hold everybody for that. So we did a lot of walking around campus, looking for places to go learn. Worked out very well, and all the people at Stony Brook are incredibly helpful and supportive of us being here. So they've made groups available. But kids, I'm sure, have got some workout carrying their computers down the long hallway from 2311 to 2120 across the Javits. We were thinking we might go to another building today, so it worked out in the end. But my name is Kevin Lafretta. So I am one of the founders, along with Melora, of Kidcodeo. We have, over the past couple of years, through the process of learning how to teach young people how to code, we figured out when we started off, we had 100 people in the room, 150 people in the room, and 80% would show up with software not downloaded correctly, not installed correctly. And we wanted to teach something that made it so the first hour, 2 hours was devoted to just fixing problems on a student machine before we ever got to teaching code. So we built our own learning platform that eliminated that as a problem. Your students have been using it all week. And I'll show you this domain up here. This is a public page that we're using for demo day, so you'll be able to do this on your phones. You'll be able to see this at home on your own computers as well if you want to show it off to other people. Summer2016.kidodeo.com/page/demo day is where we're going to be showing today. The entire platform itself is starting to go into schools, K through 12, to teach this subject. It's called OYOclass.com. If you're not familiar, OYO is own your own. So everything we do as a parent, my first requirement was that my student own his, in my case, own data, and that we weren't going to be farming these young people in research projects or in corporate strategies that allow them to pull the data in, and it wasn't really in their possession. So we built a platform that At every step along the way, all of these projects, you can see them built. They can take their data off of our platform, they can host their websites on their own hosting account. Everything is portable. So nothing is locked in here, but there's some interesting things that come with digital literacy that we get a chance to teach and have conversations around that we otherwise wouldn't. And the first thing you see is we have a public wall. So it's a social media. We're about to introduce at-game referencing. So this works a lot like Twitter. Okay? And students are going to be able to share comments with each other, share their projects with one another. One of the good things is that for a lot of these students, they've never had an introduction to social media. And so we talk about them contributing their ideas because they want YouTube channels, and they know Facebook exists, and they know Twitter exists. But once you post to a lot of these places, your data's locked in. You can't do anything about getting it out. You can scratch. If they negatively comment on another student's work in a way that we have to pull to the side and have a conversation about, it's still going to remain in Scratch. There's no way for us to get it out of Scratch. You can request MIT to get rid of it, but they don't really respond to much. All right, so in our tool, everything that we have here, we can delete if there's a truly problematic post or they're just spamming the wall, and we'll introduce them to some of their responsibility to not bully their classmates. They might not even think they're bullying, but overtly putting a negative commentary into something where you have a lot of young producers here, and I tell them that I have nothing but respect for producers, but if you're going to come to the camp and all you're going to do is consume, or if I think I'm teaching you a lesson and I come around your computer and I see Minecraft on the screen, or I see another game on the screen, then we're going to have another kind of conversation. Consumers don't get the same kind of respect that producers get. So they all have heard this all week long, they all 2 weeks long, and I think for the most part they did a fantastic job, but it's always a distraction issue when you're dealing with technology. So learning how to focus and how not to allow your computer to be that distraction is also part of what we do in this program, trying to keep them on track and failing forward. Because as developers, that's what we do. We interact with failure in a productive way. None of our programs ever work when we first start writing them, so we have to have an attitude and an approach that sets ourselves up to succeed in time as we get going. Okay, so when they come in, they're going to have a public wall. Then we gave them some assessments to test their typing speed so we could see who has familiarity with keyboards and who's going to be more in the drag and drop block kind of environment. For the beginner coding, that tends to be something that separates through as well. When you're not familiar with keyboarding, it can be a little bit challenging to learn Java and you're reaching with your finger for a semicolon. So we have to kind of start getting them familiar with how you're going to use the keyboard when you're constructing your programs as well. There are challenges that have been listed throughout our platform for them to individually go through and provide solutions for. When it's on a different subject, we have numerous courses that you'll see will cover Scratch, web development here. And when they click run, you've got the code showing on the left and you've got the results running on the right. So it allows us to see where errors are happening very quickly and see the expected result that we're looking for. And we have these, as you see, in numerous different languages that we can present forward to time. So